Welcome to Black Enterprise 40 Under 40 Virtual Summit, Building Generational Wealth. In today's session, we'll speak with financial experts to receive insight, resources, and tools on how to build and scale multiple revenue streams. Additionally, attendees will walk away with strategies to help new investors and receive advice on how to grow a portfolio and build wealth amid inflation in today's economic climate. I'm your moderator, JoVonn, host and writer with Black Enterprise, and with me are our financial experts. We have Teri Ijeoma, founder of Trade and Travel, and Shaquanna Ms. Business Brooks, founder and CEO of Brooks Alliance, L.L.C. Hi, ladies, how are you?
Hello, I'm great. How are you?
Well, you both look fabulous, stunning, and slayed.
So do you.
Thank you. Yeah. So first, tell us a little bit about each of your backgrounds and expertise in the financial space.
Sure. You want to go first?
No, go ahead, Teri.
Okay. Well, as you said, my name is Teri Ijeoma, and I actually was in education for 10 years. I started out helping Teach for America and training teachers, then ended my last job as assistant principal of an elementary school. But that whole time I was supplementing my income by trading stocks on the side. And eventually I got to a place where I was like, you know what? I want to do something different. I want to travel the world. I don't want to be stuck inside this school. So I started trading more consistently till I could replace my income, and I did. I quit my job as assistant principal, started traveling all over the world and affording it by trading. So now I teach other people how to trade and travel like I do, how to trade stocks and do whatever they want to do in their life.
Yes, freedom.
Amazing. So I am Shaquanna, Miss Business Brooks. So I go by Miss Business across all social platforms because I love business. I am a certified public accountant. I am a CPA. I work with small business owners, real estate investors, entrepreneurs, freelancers, just helping to navigate the tax side of things, which is how my firm Brooks Alliance came about. I stayed in corporate for about 6.5 years before I had to make the decision on, do I stay in corporate or do I start my own tax and accounting company? And I chose to work with entrepreneurs to help on the tax side. So I started Brooks Alliance about 4.5 years ago. I now have over 3,500 clients, and that I am so proud of. And we are just figuring it out as it relates to this tax thing. And I love it so much. I have also written 2 books, 300 plus tax deductions and the tax playbook. So as you can see, I'm all about taxes and helping people on that side. And I also help educate on digitally on social media. And so, yeah, that's me.
I love it. I'm in the presence of 2 phenomenal powerhouse women. It's just an honor.
Yes.
Thank
you. So my first question is, what are some stigmas around wealth building in the Black community that new investors must move past in order to get started? Teri, we could start with you.
There are 4 big myths that I see oftentimes in the investing world. One is Teri is too risky. Another one is I don't have enough time. Another one is it takes too much money. Another one is, girl, it takes too much math for that. I'm not a math person. But all those myths are not really true. Like, you can get started. It's simple. It doesn't take a lot of money. And anything you do is going to be a risk. So you might as well get started now and let your money grow.
Thank you for that. You were talking to me when you said the math thing. Miss Business.
Yeah, so I think some common myths are, one, that we have to do it all by ourselves. We are a culture that we want to do it all, and we feel that we have to do it all. And so that's the number one myth. I think that we definitely have to understand that we need a team. And so that is very, very important. Another thing is that we don't have enough money. So I want to angle that on 2 different ways. One, we just have to manage our money efficiently. And then the other side of it is that we have to open our mind to understand that we don't have to always just use our money. We have to position ourselves to be able to use OPM, which is other people's money. And so I think those are common myths that I see. As I mentioned, I have 3,500 clients. So I am seeing it all on a day-to-day. I see people who have literally they're working paycheck to pay. I mean, they're living paycheck to paycheck, and then they are investing in real estate, and they're taking it one property at a time, or they're starting their business and they're building it brick by brick. And then I have other clients who are coming in and they're like, no, I want funding. I'm going to get funding, and they do it so much faster. And I feel that we have to understand the power of leverage. So I think those are like two main myths that I think that we have to debunk in our mind.
Beautiful. These were, girl, y'all dropping keys today. And speaking of keys, what would you say is key to generating multiple revenue streams? Let's start with you, Ms. Business.
So the key to generating multiple revenue streams is first building out that one revenue stream. So I am against building out 7 streams of income, as everyone will always say, build 7 streams of income. I disagree with initially starting out and thinking that you have to build and jump into 7 different streams. I use the philosophy of building out 7 different streams within that one business before you jump to a different business. Because if we think about it, if you can generate additional streams of income in that first business, then that is what you're supposed to be doing. You have to, if you're just saying, okay, I'm going to jump into trading and I'm just going to like stay at surface level, and you never really think about, maybe you're trading stocks, and then maybe you may want to go to options. You may want to go into different things. You first need to give yourself time to explore everything that you can inside of that one stream, and then you jump into another.
I totally agree with you, Shaquanna. There are riches in the niches. It's better to be really good at a couple things and go deep than to try to be all over the place. And I found that in my life too. I really, really dug in with trading, really got good as a trader. And then I went to, okay, now teaching and education. How do you build that business? Okay, now I'm in real estate. I took that money and now how do I build that out, right? But all of that depends on being good at the first thing, like really going deep on that first thing first. So I totally agree with you.
Thank you, ladies, so much. Very insightful. And what are some of the best investing options to consider when getting started? Teri, you can start.
Sure. So it really depends on the person. One thing that I think in the last couple of years, everyone tried to say like their thing was the one thing, but I think it depends on your personality. If you're someone who really loves real estate, then invest in real estate, do Airbnbs, do flips, just enjoy your life. If you're someone who's like, you know what, I like the problem solving aspect, I like being able to get money on a regular basis, come over and start trading. We'd love to teach you. If you want to invest in courses, businesses, I have friends now who are buying businesses and then helping build those businesses. So honestly, I'm not going to put anybody in a box. I think it's time for us to like start really journaling who are we instead of what we hear, and then put into practice like what fits our personal criteria.
Yes.
Teri, I love that you said that because it's so true. I am, so when I was in corporate, I would trade stocks, and I had a friend and he taught me how to trade stocks. He also taught me how to trade options. And so once I started my business, I've always loved business, and I kind of fell out of trading. And so every year I just keep saying to myself, I need to get back into trading. I need to get back into trading. And I finally said to myself, you know what? Girl, you love business and real estate. You're going to hire somebody to do that. And I think that that's important as well as we think about investing, is that we don't always have to be the main person. We can hire somebody to invest for us, whether that's real estate, whether that's trading, whether that's joining in a partnership or some sort of joint venture deal in business. We don't have to be that frontline person. And so for me, I love business. So my strategy is going to be take my money from my business, and then just strictly putting it into real estate, because I love real estate and I love business. But I can't lie, I don't love stocks. I don't love trading. It gives me anxiety, right? So that goes the part of knowing who you are when you're thinking about investing. So I know that I need to invest in the market. So I'm not going to totally ignore it. But at the same time, I'm also not going to be that person like sitting there reading charts every day, because if I get it wrong, I'm going to be very upset.
Yes.
I love that you said that though. Like, what's cool is you don't have to do one or the other. You can have several interests. Like it's so to me, I was laughing because I was like, I'm talking about real estate, even though I'm the stock girl. And then I was talking about stocks, even though she's in real estate. But the thing is, you can be interested in both. If you're an entrepreneur and you have that kind of mindset, you're going to think of what ways can I grow my money? What ways can I have to spend less time doing stuff? And all of them are good. You just have to pick what's best for you.
I agree.
Amazing insight. I mean, for me personally, my husband is into the stocks, and I see that he literally is on his computer. He'll have like 2 phones and he has to look all day. He does the options as well. And when he wants to vent about a mistake he feels he made, or like, like it's like second guessing yourself, he'll come to me. And for me, like you even mentioned, someone who's really not into math, and then I see all the time he puts, it's like, whoa, do I really want to get into that? And that takes me to my next question, because it goes between working full time and maintaining a house and our children. How can a busy professional allocate time to another revenue stream?
Can I jump in here? First, Jeroslyn, I'm gonna do a little pitch for myself. Tell him to come to Trade and Travel so we can help him not be on his phone as much. Like we can help him not have to spend all day looking at the phone. And then I do have a lot of wives too that will take the class just for situations like you're talking about. They just want to learn the skill. It's not like they ever gonna do it themselves, but just so they can have conversations with their husband and it actually makes sense.
Okay, yes. Okay, you got a class for me. Okay, come on now.
So we got you, girl. We got you.
Good.
But I would say one of the things in terms of being a busy person is, as on the trading side, if you start learning how to read charts, that took a lot of time out for me. If you are a fundamental investor, you're having to look at all the news, you're having to watch like earnings reports and read every document. But as a technical analysis trader, I'm looking at charts. So I'm looking at candlesticks of past stock price. I can actually look at formations in those candlesticks pretty quickly. Like now I'm down to 2 minutes, but I've been doing this 12 years. But for some of my students, like they can look at it in 10, 20 minutes, figure out where they'd like to enter a trade and where they'd like to exit. So you don't have to spend all your time. I also think people kind of put trading in a box. They say, oh, you're a day trader. There's also swing traders that hold stock over time. Anything less than a year is a swing trade. So you can actually invest in a company, let it stay in there for 3 months. When it reaches your target, now you can take your profit and do something else with it. So for the busy people, I just say, get educated, learn how to read charts, and then know that you can also be a swing trader. You don't have to put yourself in one bucket.
So I work with a lot of business owners, just being a CPA. And so most of my time, of course, is like working on my business, not necessarily in my business. So what advice I give to my clients all the time is that you have to hire a team. When you're starting a business or even you're investing, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Your main goal should always be to figure out how you can minimize your time doing things that you are not the expert in. So my motto in my business is you don't have to be the accountant and the CEO. And I'm very intentional about that because it's so important for people when you're starting a business. Sometimes you may not have the funds. It may be different things in situations why you feel like you have to do everything. It just may be a mentality perspective. But the reality is you have to understand that you have to release things, because if you are going to major and minor things, then what's going to happen is that you're never going to be able to excel. So for those busy people, I say that one, you have to carve out time to figure out what you are going to do versus what you're going to release. And so I'm very big on that because I'm all about building businesses, selling businesses, and all of that requires for processes to be in place. So if processes aren't going to be in place and we are trying to do everything, we can't really position our businesses for success. So that would be my my advice for people who are busy. You have to find the time.
Yes. Oh, wait, no, go ahead, please.
Can I add one other thing there? So when I was assistant principal of the elementary school, but decided that I wanted to really learn how to trade, I would actually carve out some time. So I'd carve out 30 minutes in the beginning of the day after all the kids came into school. I would do a 30-minute meeting with myself. At lunchtime, I would just check my phone. You can't have the phone all at the school all the time, but I would just check on my stocks and see how they were doing. And then I would spend several hours each night looking over the charts. So I think when you are a busy person, if you're dedicated to something, you're just going to have to learn how to carve out those hours to like really work hard, and eventually it'll get better. But in the initial like startup, you're going to just have to be dedicated. So I'm going to give the time to really get good at this.
These are amazing. You guys are speaking to me as well, because I'm a busy professional with side hustles to build multiple revenue streams. And often I find myself overwhelming myself, thinking that I need to do it all instead of allocating task management, hiring someone, or even hiring a phenomenal woman like yourself to just help me along the way.
You do not have to do it all. That is a myth that we are debunking. You do not have to do it all. No.
Spoke to my heart. Y'all spoke to my heart. So now in both of your professional experiences, what are some common hurdles you often help early investors overcome?
This business, you want to go first?
Yes, so I'll go first. So I have clients in all different industries, from real estate to trading, to digital courses, to brick and mortars. I have clients in so many different industries. And so when clients are coming to me and they're first starting out, the first thing that we have to do is make sure that your foundation is in order. So that is making sure, are you organizing your business correctly? Are you supposed to be an LLC? Are you supposed to be an S Corp? Are you supposed to form as a corporation? What does that mean? Are you opening up a business bank account? I have so many people that start businesses, but they're still operating their business out of their personal account. Like, people will take all the measures to start an LLC because they don't want to be sued. But then what will happen is that they don't want to be sued, but then they're still operating their business out of their personal. So then what you're doing right there is you're not separating the business from your personal. So if in the event a lawsuit were to happen, there's no way to differentiate between your business and personal. So just making sure that clients have those foundational things, as well as bookkeeping, which most people do not talk about, but it's very, very important. It is the foundation of your business. Like, the next layer after your business formation, it is thinking about your bookkeeping. How is that income coming in? What expenses are going out? Keeping track of those things, because that's how we grow. That's how we become very aware of where we are and what changes need to happen and what new things we need to implement daily. And I had calls all day today, and I said to clients, at least to 3 of them, I was like, okay, well, how much money do you make? They knew. Okay, so how much money do you spend? I don't know. Everyone knows how much money they make. Not many people know how much money they spend. And so that's a differentiating factor between businesses that succeed and fail. Because if you know how much you're failing, well, not really failing, but if you know how much you're spending, and if you're overspending, over leveraging yourself, then guess what you have the opportunity to do? Stop it. Make some sort of change. But if you're just waiting and you don't know, and you're just operating and going, you're not really analyzing anything in your business. So just more so helping them on that end. And then finally, just helping them from a tax perspective, really understand, what does it all mean? Having an understanding that that business formation is telling the IRS how you want to be taxed, right? That bookkeeping is necessary in order for you to file your taxes, because your taxes is based on your profit. Also considering tax planning, which was a huge reason why I started my firm, is because small business owners don't discuss tax planning, while larger companies are thinking about taxes all year round. So tax planning is nothing but the analysis of your tax liability. Where are you? Are there things that you can change or position differently throughout the year? So that way you are now have an opportunity to lower your tax liability. And instead of invest and giving that money to the IRS, your silent partner, as I like to call him, what you can do is take that money and reinvest it in a business. Take that money and invest it in stocks. invested in real estate, but anything but give it to the IRS. But we can't do that if we're not, one, knowledgeable, and two, we don't have that upfront conversation. So I kind of give it all to them. Like, I used to hold their hand like, no, you don't need to do this. But now I'm more like, no, this is what you need because it's so important.
Yeah.
Wait, go. Did you want to add anything, Teri?
Oh, sure. I was going to talk about a hurdle, but go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
Yes. So there's two big hurdles that I've seen. I've taught over 30,000 students how to trade now. Two big ones are picking the right companies and then risk management. On the picking good company side, I see a lot of people picking companies simply because they heard someone else say it. When I ask them, like, what made you get into that one? Oh, I heard that at the barbershop, or my auntie told me that this is a good look. But no, the companies you should be picking are healthy companies that you normally would invest in for the long run, but you're just going to be trading in and out of your position to make income right now. So first, we're picking healthy companies. Another thing we're looking at is companies that move at least $1 a day. So I oftentimes see people look at stocks that are healthy, however, they just don't move. They only move a couple cents every day. That one's not going to be the best one as a trader to give you income. So one of my criteria is try to find one that moves. What that's saying is that there's enough interest in the stock for it to actually move its stock price. And then another thing on the risk management side, I would say, is we've got to have a risk tolerance in place. Before you start trading at all, I want you to pick a number of how much you're willing to lose on a trade. And you should write it down somewhere. Jeroslyn, tell your husband to tell it to you so you know the number too, and you can keep him accountable. But what will happen is once you have that number in place, it'll dictate if you're going down when you need to get out of a trade. Because sometimes it'll start going down and you'll freak out. Trading is emotional. And because you don't have any kind of numbers in advance, you just watch it go down. No, that risk tolerance will tell you, okay, now's the time I need to exit this stock so I can live to trade again.
And for my last question, ladies, amid current inflation and the economic climate, what are some ways someone can grow a portfolio and build wealth?
Ooh, I'll start this one. I've been fascinated by all of the stuff going on in the economy right now. I think it's like nurturing my inner like MIT economist. I did 3 years of economy or economics at MIT, and it's fascinating. So one thing I will say is pay attention to the interest rate rising. There's a couple things that are going to happen as the interest rate rises. One, savings accounts are going to start having more interest, so they will get more attractive. There are going to be some times where you look at, and you know I'm a trader, but still, as an economist, there are going to be some times where you look at your investments and you say, do I want to have a riskier investment or do I want a safe investment? And a high yield savings account might be the thing to consider as interest rates rise. As interest rates rise, though, you're also going to have housing prices start to go down. You're going to have the stock market start to go down and people start to lose their jobs. It's just part of why they're raising the interest rate in general. So on the two things of stock market and housing going down, start thinking about one, ways to make money as stocks fall. So this is things like short selling, selling covered calls. They're more advanced things, but you can make a lot of money as the market falls. Also consider writing a little grocery list of all the stocks you wanted to be in and couldn't. Do you remember when Tesla was $1 million? It really wasn't, but I'm just saying it was high. It's come down almost 60%. So there are lots of stocks that have come down and are looking really great as the market starts falling. So just get ready.
Well, I think Teri gave everything. I will just say to add to that is just to make sure that we are educated. I think that this is like the time to make sure that you are not only educated, but doing the work up front and then executing on everything that you can, because they always say when people run, and, you know, when recessions happen, that's a time when we're supposed to be investing, not the time when we're supposed to be fearful. So everything that Teri said, plus that.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. Like I gained from this session, so I know whoever is in attendance is going to get from this session. You came with jewels and keys for anyone to get started at any point in their life. So thank you.
Thank you
So much. Thanks for having us.
Amazing.